Are you in a position where you need to sell your home? Perhaps you're facing financial difficulties, or you're facing a foreclosure, a divorce, or maybe you're just relocating because of retirement. Maybe there are some other debt issues and you just need to sell your home. Well, here is a great solution for you. And that solution is Bright Realty Investment. They are a leading real estate solutions company, and their mission is to work hand in hand with all parties to handle every situation with the utmost professionalism and care. So if you're in a particularly stressful financial situation right now and you need to protect your credit, then don't waste another minute. Head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com. That's brightrealtyinvestment.com. And when you go to the website, there's a really easy form you fill out. It's right at the top, and they'll get back to you immediately. So why wait? Don't let that divorce, that retirement, or other bad debt situation take control of your life. Take control back and head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com, where they can buy your house, protect your credit, and get your life back on track. Again, head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com.
The following is a presentation of the High Spot Podcast. Making their way to the ring, talking about the world of professional wrestling, the team of Jeff Martin and the trendsetter Brian Perga, the Jersey Wrecking Crew.
What is going on, guys? You are listening to the HSP AEW Dynamite Recap Show. I am Jeff Martin, alongside my tag team partner, the trendsetter Brian Berga. Follow us on all our social media at High Spot Podcast. We are back again. Better late than never, trendsetter, but we are here with your AEW Dynamite Recap Show on the week of All Out, and then reacting to this, trendsetter. I gotta tell you, man, we have a lot to get into, so we might as well delve into it right away, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, lots have happened for Dynamite. Lots have happened after All Out that we want to get into. So let's get started, man.
Yeah, so we'll get to our thoughts on All Out after we wrap up here, but let's just talk about the opening, man. A great Jericho and MJF promo to start out the show. Both of them showing the respect to one another, but then walking away, and they're like, what a loser. And both of them actually came up short in their matches at All Out, but what a great way to open up the show, huh? With Le Champion and with the future of AEW MJF.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to establish the fact that Jericho is obviously the president right now. He is what's keeping this company. I wouldn't say he's the main reason what's keeping this company afloat, but he's one of the main attractions of how people, the general audience, especially people who are tuning into TNT or are looking at a star like Chris Jericho saying, oh, wait, I remember him from the WWE. What's this new league? AEW? I'm going to check it out. So he's definitely a staple right now, and there's no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure, I mean, you just mentioned to it, you just alluded to it, MJF is the future of AEW.
Yeah, trendsetter. So, again, we open up with tag team wrestling, something that AEW is so well known for. We get Jurassic Express against the Lucha Bros, and a surprising outcome as Jurassic Express defeat the Lucha Bros. Now, Jurassic Express lost to the Young Bucks at All Out, but it was a very, very good matchup. And now you have them, I guess, being able to walk away with a very important victory, because that tag team division is deep, man. But the Lucha Bros are kind of right now in a little bit of flux because they're not getting along, man. And it took Eddie Kingston to come out alongside with Butcher and the Blade. The Butcher and the Blade.
Hi-ho to Mario, the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah,
she stands alone. You always stop when I'm about to sing that part, mother.
So they come out and they got to shake hands. Eddie Kingston's like, man, you guys got to shake, whatever like that. How did we lose the Casino Battle Royale? Eddie Kingston officially is not eliminated from the Casino Battle Royale, so we're going to have play on that one and stuff like that.
So he's still in it basically right now.
Yeah, so he's technically still in, man. He's technically Lance Archer's basically stole his spot. But But yeah, man, a lot of dissension in the ranks. And of course, Jurassic Express will have a shot at the tag team titles next week. Well, I mean, a shot for the number one contendership, because if they win in a non-title match, they'll get a title match down the road if they beat FTR, the new tag team champions. But let's talk about Lucha Bros, man. A little bit of an influx, a little bit of infighting. They can't get along. Very surprising for a tag team that when this whole thing started, which is almost a year now, that you thought they'd have a better, future, a better outcome than they have out now.
Well, the future is still to be seen, Jeff, in terms of what's going to happen with them. There's no doubt if people look at AEW, and you and I have discussed it several times from the beginning of, we're talking about the essence of what AEW is. To me, it's tag team wrestling. This is a huge roster and a load amount of talent in this tag team division. The depth is ridiculous. And for the Lucha Bros, they start off with a huge impact as the tag team division was developing. I really just feel they kind of just been lost in the shuffle right now, because a lot of it's been on right now. They're focusing on the Butcher and the Blade. They're focusing on the House Party. Private Party. They're focusing on the Young Bucks right now, and just again FTR, the champions. It was Kenny and Hangman, so they're just getting lost in the shuffle. Doesn't mean they're not good. Doesn't mean they're not one of the top quote unquote elite tag teams in all of wrestling right now. It just seems to be that they've not lost their way, but just lost their focus. And I think that's the reason, too, the mere fact of what Eddie Kingston and the stable's being developed, I think, for the mere fact that you don't want to get lost. You don't want to get stuck in that purgatory where, you don't know where you're going and you just kind of run around in circles. So this kind of gives the ability of having us intrigued in terms of, are they going to really break up? I don't think that's going to happen, but I think it makes it intriguing for us to see where the stable's going and how Eddie Kingston's going to establish it.
Yeah, totally agree, man. But again, though, just surprising to see that Lucha Bros aren't on the higher echelon of tag teams now. Whether it's
Jeff, we could say the same thing about Santana Ortiz right now. They're nowhere near the tag team championship race at all. They're dealing with those two losers right now.
We'll talk about that in a little bit too. Lance Archer cuts a promo with Jake Roberts on Jon Moxley, saying his time is up.
What did you think about that promo?
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
To me, I kind of laughed a little bit because Lance was going a little bit high. He's like, "You've been long enough for the champion." I was like, "What are you talking about? Just keep letting Jake talk for you, man. You don't need to do that."
Yeah, no, that's a good point there, Trendsetter. Definitely, you can make a case for that. The Lance Archer should let Jake Roberts be more of a mouthpiece, but it's trials and tribulations, man, when you're building a character or you're trying to find yourself. So I kind of might let that one go for a little bit, but see, but if it continues, then I'll definitely call Lance Archer out on that, because he should be better than that right now. But
Jeff, I need better from you right now. It seems like you're still kind of waking up. Come on, I need some energy from you. I don't need this monotone, Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt, he's a good promo guy, let Jake talk. No, I need some energy from you. You and I are both exhausted. There's no excuse.
I don't want to pop, because like I said, the studio is bare. It's barren now, Studio 51. So I kind of want to make sure that we make this very listenable for DJ Kuzmo. So, make sure he does. Make sure that the sound quality is okay. But I'll pick it up right here, because I'll definitely get passionate about this one. Matt Hardy thanks everybody for their concern from All Out. He took a major shot off onto the cement floor of the stadium at All Out against Sammy Guevara, and he comes out and basically says he's okay. I wonder if Tony Khan pushed him into saying that. You know what I mean? Like, he says that they've treated him great, and that now he's gonna go get better. He's gonna make a full recovery. He's gonna rest, and hopefully when he comes back, he's gonna wrestle and compete for the AEW championship. Man, I wish he would have retired, because after that shot, and he's talking to Reby Hardy, and you see his family, his beautiful family and stuff, you're wondering, man, what more do you have to do? But I'm not one of those people that will say, hey, you got to retire. But it would have been nice if he would have been called it a day, been like, I'm going to be an agent, or I'm going to still be, I'll still be all elite. But I don't need to see Matt Hardy freaking wrestle again. Not even in my backyard, nowhere near an AEW ring. Take the time off, heal, maybe think about this, but I mean, Matt
so what you're basically telling me is that Matt Hardy's best days are behind him.
Oh, so behind him. I don't need to see his bone-leggedness walking back into the ring. I mean, Just doesn't do anything for me. Never did. Jeff Hardy was the more charismatic one. I liked what he did with the deletion and all that stuff, but that's come and gone as well. So I mean, honestly, I just wish Matt Hardy would just said called it a day.
So basically, to step out of the ring and just be an agent, basically, for AEW.
Yeah, I mean, he's creative. Don't get me wrong. I respect the heck out of him, but just he's not my cup of tea. And, when you have a trendsetter, that was a nasty, nasty fall that he took, man. And then to see what they did afterwards and to see him trying to get up and he was like all out of it. And then you're going to tell me that he was okay to continue that match. You gotta be kidding me. But that's not what I'm going to be here for and criticize them. If they're going to, if Matt Hardy agrees with it and he's the one that says, hey, I'm okay, and he's going to come out and make this speech, right, and not criticize anybody from AEW, then you know what? I'm not going to be the one here arguing and making his case for him. So if he's okay and he's going to take some time off and rest, fine. But you know what, though? It would have been better if he just would have been like, I'm going to call it a day. It's been a great career. And from now on, I will be all elite. But I'll just be all elite backstage and sharing my ideas with the younger wrestlers because I don't think he has anything for us to prove. And honestly, I would not get excited about an AEW title run from Matt Hardy. I mean, there's so many other people that I would love to see more than this guy get a shot at the AEW title.
I can't argue with you there. And in terms of what he has to offer, it's kind of hard for me to think, who he could feud with. A lot of people like the Sammy Guevara rivalry. I wasn't really... It didn't flow for me. I didn't really feel it was given the amount of time and respect I felt it deserved, especially during that Dynamite show where it was basically picture-in-picture. And in essence, you really basically didn't give it the credibility it deserved, in my opinion. And so now that he's away from the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, I don't know in the sense that Matt Hardy himself, if it's not that gimmick, if it's not that character, intrigues me. So, he spoke about before how he was able in TNA to do it, reinvented himself, wasn't able to bring that over to WWE, had another opportunity in AEW now, but I don't know where that went. So, yeah, I don't believe a Matt Hardy, just solely him, a version 1 or version 27, whatever you want to call it, is really going to intrigue me any further to want to see Matt Hardy. So, yeah, maybe his best days are behind him. I think he's still in the mindset of wanting to wrestle, and Tony Khan, being a gigantic wrestling fan, is going to want to do that. So we'll see what happens on that end. But I think it'll be a while before we see Matt Hardy because the nasty spill that he took, like you mentioned before, is definitely going to take some time. And if AEW knows anything better in terms of, what's good for them, they're going to wait a pretty long time before they allow Matt to get back in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just leave it at that one and stuff like that because it's been pretty much said now. So we'll see what happens after he heals up and see what direction they want to put him in. But it's good to see that at least Matt Hardy is okay. Because the human being, first and foremost, and wrestling fans are the best, man. We care about people like that. You know what I mean? We send out our thoughts and prayers when stuff like that happens because we know what these guys put themselves through. So tons of respect for what he's done, tons of respect for his career. He's just not my cup of tea, trendsetter, and we'll just leave it at that. Orange Cassidy after Orange Cassidy after he's cash right now. He's cash for AEW. Defeats Angelico, coming off that Mimosa Mayhem match, which I thought was entertaining. Did you get to see the drawing that Jericho did for Tony Khan, so you can see what his idea for the concept was for the Mimosa match?
No, I never saw it.
Oh, it's like a kid sketch, whatever, and it looks so close, So that's Jericho with his great idea, and the right person won with Orange Cassidy because it was about getting him over, and he defeats Angelico, and then you have Santana Ortiz doing the dirty work, and they beat up on Orange Cassidy, and you got best friends come out, Trent Barretta and Chucky T. They make the save, and then enough is enough, and it's time to settle in the ring because JR's like, they got to settle in the ring. And so they will settle it, but not in the ring, in the parking lot fight next week. And basically, we're going to get to see this feud, see how it plays out. But I'm excited for the tag team match. But, Orange Cassidy, man, a big win here, a big win on Saturday for All Out. The right guy won. Definitely, and seeing Jericho in that pile of Mimosa was hilarious. But just your take on Orange Cassidy and the tag team match coming up next week.
Why should I give it any more energy than Orange Cassidy gives himself in the ring, basically? He doesn't deserve that. But No, it served its purpose. The rivalry and the story between Jericho and Orange, it served its purpose. I don't think it really needed to help get Orange over. I think more it just helped elevate him to another level where he could theoretically be a main event guy or a top guy now in AEW. I know, Darby Allin is not on your favorite list. Darby Allin is on your those three as well aren't on your favorite top list right now. But Orange Cassidy can definitely be up there now. And now, I would say if you were to position him, let's say a couple months down the road for a TNT title shot or an AEW title shot, it's not as far-fetched anymore because he's been there in the ring with the likes of a talent like Chris Jericho. He's held his own. So now it just takes him to a different echelon, a different level. Granted, his character will still remain the same, true to what Orange Cassidy is, but definitely he is seen differently. And when you heard from the audience, although there weren't many people there, you definitely hear that it's a different impact now. When he came out in the ring, people were like, whoa, it's a bigger pop than just the nostalgia feeling of what Orange Cassidy was known for before he arrived in AEW. And as for the two losers and Santana Ortiz, our brothers from another mother, Jeff, really, we'll see what happens. I really feel it should be in the ring. I know they're going to do a parking lot brawl or fight, whatever the case might be. I mean, both are two talented teams. And to me, what do you showcase better, those teams in the ring? And Santana Ortiz are without a question one of the two best out there to do it right now as a tag team. So why wouldn't you want to just showcase that in the ring? Why do a fight? I don't get that part.
And then backstage, something happened that I think all of America wanted to see or wish they could have done, and that is super kick Alex Marvez in the face.
Hey, that's my boy. What are you talking about?
And so, let's be honest, though. I mean, I love Alex, but, man, it's just – I mean, I love him as a journalist. I love him as a host on SiriusXM NFL Radio. But, man, like, I don't know, man. Like, he's being made now look like a fool backstage, right?
I guess that's the direction they're taking him in. I mean, I can't argue with you there. I mean, being super kicked in the face. I'm sure if he's a mark and a fan would be like, I just got super kicked by the Young Bucks. How cool is that? He tried the whole commentating thing. Gave it an effort, but it's clearly not his wheelhouse as NFL is or other different types of entertainment, and that's fine. But
talk wrestling on the radio or on or host a show, but I just think as a as an on camera person, I mean, it just let's be honest, it's not working.
It's not working, but in terms of an interviewer or doing those in-depth analysis, like he could do a 10 times better job than Jim Ross right now when he interviews talent. Especially when he does those segments of JR sits down with a talent and tries to talk to him and get the story across. Definitely do 10 times better than JR. But maybe that's the role he needs to go into, or maybe be part of the podcast or something. So it seems like they signed Alex knowing his prestige as a broadcaster, but don't really know where to place him because they thought he was going to do great on the play-by-play. Didn't work out that well, and now they're trying to figure out what to do. So if he's for comic relief, then at least he's earned that paycheck.
All right, Trendsetter, we find out who the best man is, and it is Miro, formerly known as Rusev in WWE. Obviously, it was supposed to be a big splash, and we find out who the best man is after it's not Brian Pillman Jr., who I think would have been great. And, man, you look at him, and he's got such a bright future. He's got the look and everything, but I digress.
Definitely got the mullet, too.
This is about Miro here making his AEW debut. He is all elite. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Trendsetter, man, like, yeah, they did kind of him coming out the entrance, and he got him from the back, and you didn't see him until, he's at the ramp, and, I'll tell you, man, like, maybe because there's no people there, but to me it's very underwhelming, and you get the normal, typical spiel about the glass ceiling, right? You get that thing, and you look into the camera, and you pretend you're talking to Vince McMahon, where you probably should have said it to his face, which is what I believe when people do that. I mean, that act gets pretty old, and so Miro comes out saying he's the number one, he's the best gamer out there on Twitch. He's this and that, whatever. He's successful, and so is his wife, who's still in the WWE. So, I mean, yes, while it's a great signing, and, man, I think WWE dropped the ball with him, this character of Miro, whatever like that, I mean, even when he was doing the whole wedding angle and stuff, I didn't get it. I didn't get that character, whatever. Is he just happy-go-lucky, whatever? I like the Bulgarian Brute better, but we'll see what happens, man. I'm not going to judge a book by its cover, but a little underwhelming first impression.
Well, you basically just did. You judged him before he did anything. You judged him on his promo. You judged him on his presentation.
Are you in a position where you need to sell your home? Perhaps you're facing financial difficulties, or you're facing a foreclosure, a divorce, or maybe you're just relocating because of retirement. Maybe there are some other debt issues and you just need to sell your home. Well, here is a great solution for you. And that solution is Bright Realty Investment. They are a leading real estate solutions company, and their mission is to work hand in hand with all parties to handle every situation with the utmost professionalism and care. So if you're in a particularly stressful financial situation right now and you need to protect your credit, then don't waste another minute. Head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com. That's brightrealtyinvestment.com. And when you go to the website, there's a really easy form you fill out. It's right at the top, and they'll get back to you immediately. So why wait? Don't let that divorce, that retirement, or other bad debt situation take control of your life. Take control back and head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com, where they can buy your house, protect your credit, and get your life back on track. Again, head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com.
In terms of presentation, I wasn't overly impressed like you were. I wasn't overly impressed. I think that what they tried to do didn't necessarily work for me. And then the biggest opportunity for Miro was to do that promo, like you said. But for me, in my humble opinion, and I'm very respectful because, again, I have no idea what it's like to be in a wrestling ring. Neither do you, right? Only when I'm taking pictures with the talent. But the promo was a little bit underwhelming. And this is what frustrated me a little bit more about in terms of Miro, because, like, he is entertaining. You see him on his Twitch channel, or I see him on YouTube sometimes doing comments. He's quick. He's witty. He can be entertaining. But when the time came for him, and it wasn't scripted. It wasn't like he had a script in front of him. It looks like he was kind of just doing it from the top of his head. You could tell that he was not prepared for it. And as much as he felt he wasn't, because he was going on and on about certain things. He's like, every day, any day, I'll take any guy. It's just a very generic, basic, quote-unquote, wrestler promo. And then he looks in the camera and says, my name is Miro and I'm all elite. That was probably the best part of it, but I think it was, time will tell on it. But in terms of the impact he could have made on his debut after being away for a little bit off of TV, very underwhelming. I don't really take the crowd into account here because, again, it's a small crowd. And, it would have been the same thing if it was nobody in there, too. So you can't really judge in terms of the audience because you didn't have enough people in there, so you probably couldn't hear them. And, Miro kind of dropped the ball on it, I feel. Didn't really come out to deliver the promo. I was going to send shockwaves throughout the world. And another thing I started realizing about AEW, Jeff, that you and I haven't talked about too much. We critique the angles, we critique the storylines, but, what AEW really has to do nowadays, man, they really need to check out and see where they're going and what direction they're going to go with their color commentating team. JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur completely were acting as if trying to make it a big deal, but their emotion didn't showcase that. JR is like, oh, I'm surprised by that, and Excalibur is like, wow, and Tony Schiavone just throws three words in there. Amongst the three of them, can they make that exciting for us? They completely failed on that end.
I totally agree with you, man. I think that the Taz.
Can you wake up Jim Ross? Can you wake him up?
And Excalibur. It's not even that. It's just that he tries to be. It's like he's trying to be hip and he's trying to be funny. And when you're trying to do that stuff, it doesn't come off that way. You know what I mean? Like when he's like for example, he got the Young Bucks got fined $5,000 a piece, right? So he's like, a piece, or like he'll repeat stuff like 30 times, like why? It's not. It's not entertaining, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather Jim Ross just be himself. He's not being himself. Let's just be honest. He's not being himself.
You're right. He's not being himself. What I take from Jim, unfortunately, I think he's trying to emulate what he once was in WWE. And you can definitely tell that it's like, honestly, dude, like when we're doing this down the road, if I'm not emulating the same type of energy or articulating the way I normally don't do very well of a job anyway to do, then I know my time is gone because you just don't have that flip switch of like, I'm giving you that emotion, I'm giving you the honest opinion. And it seems like Jim right now is trying to recapture some of what he had during the Attitude Era by, repeating, my God, and it's just not authentic because I feel he's trying to play the character of Jim Ross rather than just being Jim Ross.
He's trying to find that medium because last week he got in trouble for comments he made about a female wrestler there.
Yeah, but even those comments, that's like a Jerry Lawler thing. That's not him, so I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, and that's like, it just sounds like creepy old dude, and then instead of apologizing, you're saying, oh, I'll with the way sensitivity is nowadays, instead of apologizing, he kind of says like, no, I'm not sorry for whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just stuff like that I mean, he's just not being himself. But speaking of not himself, we got 2 interviews, a sit down with Tony Schiavone with Adam Hangman Page. We have new tag team champions in FTR. After a 30-minute battle with so many false finishes, dude. I mean, it just did not need that many false finishes in the match on Saturday at All Out. But you have new tag team champions, and what we got out of it was the implosion between Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. I really thought Kenny Omega was going to belt him with that table. He, I guess, thought best not to, walked away, and then wanted to walk out the Young Bucks. They decided to stay behind. Kenny leaves in a Lincoln Navigator, and to this point, Kenny Omega sat down with Jim Ross. Kenny Omega is done with Hangman Page. He doesn't think that there's anything that they can resolve between them and the Young Bucks and the Elite. Hangman's got other ideas. He thinks that this can be salvaged. He thinks that they can work hard, climb up the ranks, and be that tag team that they were. It's going to be hard work, but he believes that there's a chance for him to resolve issues with Kenny Omega. He basically said that this was all his fault. His relationship with the Bucks and Kenny Omega, the way it's been damaged, and says that he thinks that it could work. But Kenny Omega looks like he's done and he wants nothing to do with it, and he wants to go back to singles competition. Really hard trendsetter for Hangman Page to convince Kenny Omega right now that the best thing to do is keep this tag team together, because it was hanging by a thread heading into All Out anyways.
Well, it's not only hard to convince Kenny, Jeff. I think it's hard to convince myself. I can't speak for you, but it's really hard to convince me to do it. I didn't like the pairing to begin with, because I thought originally when this team was set up, oh, we're taking away from Kenny now. Oh, wait, he's supposed to be the AEW champion. He's supposed to be the face of this company. What is going on here? He's a tag team wrestler now. And even in the interview, he alluded to it, that maybe this was my purpose, my reasoning. His the way he talks is like very, I'm telling a story here. Maybe this is my destiny type of scenario. And I got that from him. But what I like now is like he's more like, you know what, it's time for individual success. And it's really hard for me as an audience to want to see that again, because Jeff, I had such a high hope for this match. I thought this match was going to steal the show. This is the one I was looking forward to the most, Kenny and Hangman, and the chemistry they had in the ring against FTR. And it just didn't go that way. I don't know what it was. There's just something about it that just didn't sit well with me. Psychology, the timing, whatever it was. I didn't enjoy the match very much.
It was off.
Yeah, and the match was really off for me.
And it just something happens. Just sometimes it doesn't click, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work, because we've been to these shows live, right? And again, maybe it's the audience, whatever. We've been to these shows, dude, and there is nothing like, if you got to go to these shows and experience it, even if it's in Chicago, especially, you have to go to these things, and it just fell short that whole night. But anyway, trendsetter Moxley response to Lance Archer was like, damn, it sucked that Lance Archer won, because it doesn't get any easier as the AEW World Champion. But are you really going to bet against Jon Moxley right now? He is on fire. He is
not at all
going in the world at all, right now. So can you really bet against Moxley right now?
No, you can't. He's on a roll. He's definitely on the course to be probably one of the longest reigning. Currently, he is one of the longest reigning AEW champions if he keeps going at this pace. But yeah, I just don't foresee as much as a Lance Archer, in this case Lance Hoyt. He's Archer now because he won the Battle Royale, but although he pids a huge test for him, I don't know if that's a likelihood that's going to happen. So interesting to see that. I know I've heard a lot of people comment that they want to see Archer as the AEW champion. I don't know if that's the direction you want to go right now. Jon Moxley is the hottest thing right now in pro wrestling, and why would you want to take that away from him? He's representing the company really well. He definitely has a certain appeal, and so yeah, he's the hottest thing going on right now. So I don't see, as much as Lance Archer is a force to be reckoned with, I don't see him dethroning Jon Moxley whenever that happens.
All right, so take Conti, makes her official AEW.
But real quick, I am looking forward to the promos, and not between Archer and Jon Moxley, between Jake Roberts and Jon Moxley.
Oh, that should be good.
Those should be good.
Really well thought out, nice, slow, methodical promos by each of those guys. All right, Trendsetter Tay Conti makes her official AEW debut, like we just said. Loses to Nyla Rose, who's alongside Vicky Guerrero with the Beast Bomb. Glad she signed. She's talented and definitely, earned a spot. Sheeta comes out to save her because it looks like Vicky had ordered Nyla to continue to beat on Tay Conti, but this is really Sheeta versus Nyla Rose down the road because she's the number one contender, and that's what we're going to get, and this is the build-up to their eventual match.
Yeah, and that's all it's ever been right now. Even the whole scenario with Thunder Rosa is really more just to build up Sheeta even more if they possibly could. So this potential match is going to happen with Nyla and Sheeta. But honestly, right now, as much as we talk about the tag team division, as much as we talk about the TNT title, the AEW Championship right now, that women's division definitely needs some work and some help. I don't know if a Sheeta-Nyla match, the second rematch, is going to do it. But they got some work ahead of them right now.
All right, and then the main event, Trendsetter, it is Brody Lee versus Dustin Rhodes.
Mr. Lee.
Championship, and Mr. Lee. And basically, Dustin can still go, man.
It's a really good match.
He could be 50 years wrestling. He could be his 70s. And you know what? It's in the genetics. It's in the blood. Dustin Rhodes can, and you know what? It's great. I mean, he should have always been part somewhere in the main event, and WWE again would just use him as a hand, whatever. But Dustin Rhodes can still go, bro. Like, it's amazing. He had a great matchup, but just Brody Lee was too powerful with that spinning lariat, which knocked Dustin Rhodes there for a loop. And then at the end, you see them dismantling QT Marshall, and it's continuing burying.
They basically carried a lifeless QT Marshall to the ring.
Yeah, so I mean, they continue to incite Cody, and whenever he's done with this show that he's doing now on TBS, the Go Big Show or something like that, once he's done with that, he'll definitely. Did you just see how? Oh, that's crazy, man.
Something like that. No, I didn't see it. But the way you said it, something like that.
This guy has he clips his tongue to his wife, and he carries her just with his. It's crazy, bro. It's like this extreme talent show. It's like America Got Talent on roids back in the 90s. That's what it's like. And Cody's a judge there with a Snoop Dogg and Rosario Dawson and another person heard of, another actress. You always got to have an actress you never heard of on those kind of shows. But so she's there and stuff like that. So that's what he's doing. That's why he's away. So hopefully when he comes back, he will try to avenge the Nightmare Family name.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan, obviously. I think it'll still be a long time before we see Cody, so they're definitely going to build this up as much as possible. As for Dustin, hey, listen, sometimes people they run on gimmicks and they live their gimmicks, or they are that gimmick. It's not a gimmick. Dustin Rhodes, to me, is the natural. It naturally comes to him. I've never seen anybody, people say, hey, Randy Orton's the best in the business. I think, Dustin, for as long as he's done it, Dustin is the most natural wrestler I've ever seen perform. Whether he's the Goldust character or he's himself, he's amazing. It's weird to think too. He was planning on retiring, and the mere fact that he has this much still left in the tank, it's amazing. I would love to see that match again. That was probably the highlight of Dynamite. I think both of them worked really well, and Dustin, man, took it to Brody Lee, and Brody had a look on his face like, whoa, this is the older brother. I just dominated his younger brother, and this is the older brother almost kicking my ass, too. It was pretty impressive.
Dustin can still go. I would put him in I would make him more active, honestly. He can still go. Or maybe once in a while, maybe because the bloom comes off the rose, maybe, whatever. But, Dustin shows you why he is a Hall of Famer, why he is one of the best wrestlers, and, to ever lace up those boots and stuff like that. So good for Dustin. But again, it's interesting what happens with the Nightmare Family going forward, Trendsetter. And so before we break out here, Trendsetter, the final thing was the FTR celebration. Now, everyone does this. I really wish... I hate these celebrations because it just makes no sense. You had all the tag teams out there. And let me tell you what this was to me. You ready, Trendsetter? Say no. Ready? FTR celebration was short, stocky guys with little man complex when they think they're 6 feet over. What do you think? Am I wrong or right?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I like FTR, but they're walking around like they're 6'5", and listen, I'm short, right?
We wish we were 6 feet. We wish we were 6 feet.
Listen, but I'm short, right? But I've never had little man complex where I have to feel taller than I am. I deal with it, right? But these guys have so much short man complex, little man complex is what we call it. and where they feel they need to be bigger than they are, wearing the suits and everything like that. Well, when you got little legs, short, stocky legs, and you're stocky, I mean, you don't come off ominous. Yes, they're definitely one of the best tag teams in the world, and yes, they have a date against Jurassic Express next week, a non-title matchup, and yes, they got dumped on ice by Jurassic Express because they cleared out the ring. But honestly, I don't. This just comes off, man. Little man complex. I'm sure Cassie will like when he hears that.
Sure he would, because Cassie is a giant. But
he's a boys with them.
I know. He's boys with them, of course. Yeah, but he's a giant in terms of height and stature because again he's boys with FTR. But speaking of that though, it's like no, you're right. I don't know. I just feel like nowadays since we've always thrived for we want an alternative out there. We want something different. But now it seems like, again, stuff like this, it could have been handled differently. But, again, that's the road they're going to take. And I understand it from that standpoint because, that's the heat you want to draw. But ultimately, in the end, FTR should just be what they are, business. And when you add these other elements to them, it just kind of seems out of place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really does. But we'll find out, how successful their tag team run is with Tully Blanchard, especially with them. So let's run it down, Trendsetter. Next, we got Best Friends versus Santana Ortiz in a parking lot fight. Thunder Rosa defends the NWA Women's Championship after a good match with Shida, right, against Ivelisse. You got FTR taking on Jurassic Express. Hangman versus Frankie Kazarian. Chris Jericho and Jack Hager are going to have their run at the tag team division here against Private Party. MJF will be in action. And, of course, the big announcement is October 14th. It's going to be a year since the debut of Dynamite. Can you believe that? Wow. And we're going to get the AEW World Championship on the line. We're going to get Jon Moxley defending it against against Lance Archer. How about
say Brody Lee?
What a lineup that is, right? I mean, it's going to be an exciting week coming up, an exciting next few weeks as we anticipate the anniversary show for AEW. But we got Rusev, we got Miro debuting, we found out so much things going on in the tag team division. We had Celebration, we got the feud with Shida and Nyla Rose. Everything's building up, man. They did a good job with building stuff up. So really good show, really positive way to go into next week.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it seems right now with all the shows, I mean, and again, we kind of nitpicked it a little bit more, at least I felt I did this week. What AEW does right now that's doing better than, Impact and doing better than WWE, if we have those two for comparisons right now, because those are the ones really more known in terms of their notoriety in terms of television and being able to see them. They're putting all the stops right now. You and I talk about, you should save it for this time, or a lot of people say, oh no, wait till this moment to do it. They're not waiting. They're just going all out, and whatever's left is left over. And I admire that right now because, tomorrow's not guaranteed. I mean, we live in a pandemic, so we don't know what's going to happen. And right now, AEW is trying to put their best foot forward with all the talent they have, with all the things they have. We're going to put it out there and see if you guys enjoy it because they want that crowd to be there. They want to continually be there. They want to say, hey, listen, we'll tease it. We'll do it next week, and then it doesn't happen. We'll do it the week after. No, they're really actually drawn to their audience and really are trying to give them the best thing possible each and every time. They kind of remind me a little bit of the UFC. A really quick analogy here. In terms of boxing, when you see boxing and you love it, you want this guy to face this guy, but then it just takes forever. And then once they finally do face each other, they're past their prime. So the moment you wanted to see it, it doesn't live up to the hype it was supposed to be. UFC is a little bit different. They give you the matches you immediately want because they want to drive the audience and give them what they want. That's what I feel AEW does really well and has been continually doing it since they started. It's amazing just to think a year's gone by that fast. We're going to talk about the 1 year anniversary of Dynamite. That's crazy, man. Time goes by way too fast.
Oh, it does, man. Look at you choked up. Look at you, man. You're emotional, dude.
I was okay with it.
And again, though, listen, we love bringing the show for you guys. We had to do this makeshift the last couple of weeks, man, but we love AEW.
We still get it done, though, makeshift or not.
Do, man, and want to appreciate everybody for listening to the show.
And this is my favorite show, too. You know why? Because we're socially distancing from each other. So I don't have to be in studio with you. So I'm enjoying it.
I don't get to see your face, brother. I don't get to see it. But, hey, listen, man, sometimes, it's a good thing. I'm not going to lie. But again, though,
I'm sorry you tested positive, Jeff, for idiocy right now.
Guys, want to thank you for listen to the show. You can follow us on all our social media at High Spot Podcast. I am Jeff Martin alongside with my tag team partner, the Trendsetter. All Out was again, something was off from All Out, but still though, I expect them to rebound. Not everything was bad. It's just for some reason, for some
it's not always going to be a home run.
Just it was not a home run. It's more like a double. Yeah, like a double. But hey,
you're being nice. I'm a little more critical. It's a single.
You can't win them all. But on that note, Trendsetter, take us home.
Yeah, well, and again, at that note, we finished recapping Dynamite, talked a little bit All Out, guys. We love doing this for you, and don't forget to catch us again every week as we present you the best of professional wrestling and entertainment in general. So make sure you check out the High Spot Podcast, like Jeff said as well, available on all platforms that you know of. We're there for you guys. And so for that being said, we are the Jersey Wrecking Crew. For my tag team partner, the scoundrel Jeff Martin, I'm the Trendsetter Brian Berger. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of the HSP AEW Dynamite Recap. And remember, guys, we do this for one reason and one reason only. The seasons might change as we're changing into the fall, but one thing will never change. We do this for one reason. We do this for you, the crew. You were going to join me, Jeff?
I did. I said the crew.
I'm joking. We're remote, that's why.
Are you in a position where you need to sell your home? Perhaps you're facing financial difficulties, or you're facing a foreclosure, a divorce, or maybe you're just relocating because of retirement. Maybe there are some other debt issues and you just need to sell your home. Well, here is a great solution for you. And that solution is Bright Realty Investment. They are a leading real estate solutions company, and their mission is to work hand in hand with all parties to handle every situation with the utmost professionalism and care. So if you're in a particularly stressful financial situation right now and you need to protect your credit, then don't waste another minute. Head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com. That's brightrealtyinvestment.com. And when you go to the website, there's a really easy form you fill out. It's right at the top, and they'll get back to you immediately. So why wait? Don't let that divorce, that retirement, or other bad debt situation take control of your life. Take control back and head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com, where they can buy your house, protect your credit, and get your life back on track. Again, head on over to brightrealtyinvestment.com.